Okay, so some people had a few more questions in terms of the comparison between the Zephyrus G14 and the Lenovo Legion Slim 7. This isn't a professional video by any means, but I just thought I would try to note some of the differences that I think are important to me, and hopefully they're important to somebody else. So anyway, I've already covered it, but the dimensions are pretty similar, other than the footprint of the Slim 7. But the actual thickness is very similar. You can look at my other video if you're curious about that. One thing I'll note right now is that this thing is a huge fingerprint magnet, the Slim 7. You definitely don't have that problem with the G14, but this thing holds on to fingerprints. It's a nice, like, kind of soft touch plastic material that is pretty satisfying and premium feeling, but yeah, a lot of fingerprints. Port selection, very similar. You've got an HDMI port, a USB-C port with DisplayPort out on this side on the G14, audio jack, and then USB-C data and two more USB-A ports on the other side. Nothing on the back. Charging over here. On the Slim 7, you've got two display-capable USB-C ports on the right side, as well as I believe that's the microphone intake there. And then on this side, you've got a full-size SD card slot, which you may or may not be able to see, and an audio jack as well. And on the back, you've got the charging and two more USB-A. I will say that's another thing that I really like about the Slim 7 is that the ports, the power and USB are on the back. It's a little annoying having this thing on the side, and very annoying having the USB-A ports if you need them on the right side, because it gets right in the way of your mouse hand. Although the same can kind of be said for the Slim 7 if you're using the USB-C ports here, but they are a bit farther back, so I'll give that a +1 for the Slim 7. As far as one-hand openability, the Slim 7 is definitely easy to open with one hand. The Zephyrus G14 there's not really a lip here. It's fairly flush, but you can kind of get away with it on the side a bit here. But as far as the resistance and everything on the hinge, it's good as well. Now, the keyboards on these things are both really good. I like the key travel and feel on the G14 a bit better. I mean, you can see it's quite a bit of travel there, and there's definitely, these are lower profile, not as much travel. But that being said, I do like how the spacing is on the Lenovo keyboards a little bit better in the layout, and the fact that because of that extra footprint, you get a 10 key as well. The touchpad, I would say, is fantastic on the G14, and it's pretty good on the Slim 7. They're both pretty responsive, although I did like the G14 touchpad a little bit better. Go ahead and start both these up roughly the same time so you can kind of see how fast they boot. Definitely a bit faster on the Lenovo, although I haven't messed with any sort of fast boot settings, so I don't know, if there's a difference maybe. So both of these have fingerprint readers built into the power button. So I'll say that the Lenovo works really well. The power button feels nice. See, it worked right there. The G14 I've had a bit more problems with, and it's kind of this weird I don't know, the power button just doesn't feel, slash fingerprint reader doesn't feel as nice, but you know, I mean, it's really not that big of a deal. Now, as far as the screens are concerned, so they're both rated at right around 300 nits, but I will say that the Slim 7, I don't know if it's just because I hit the panel lottery, because I know, you know, you can have some variance there from the actual specs, but the Slim 7 is definitely brighter than the G14. They're both full HD matte displays. But I'd probably say really one of the biggest differences you're going to see between the two is that this thing has a 3 millisecond response time with overdrive, and also it supports G-Sync, and has a mux switch. You don't have the same thing with the G14 here. In fact, the response time is unfortunately in the 20 millisecond range or so. And you know, I don't know if you can see this, but you know, you'll get kind of significant ghosting here, whereas you know, you don't really have that issue nearly as pronounced on the Slim 7. That being said, if you're looking for something that's specifically, you know, a couple of inches cut off in terms of the surface area, then you know the G14 obviously fits the bill. The Slim 7 also has a webcam. Webcam works pretty well. Haven't had any issues with that. You know, it's not really a big deal for me, but the one on there is none on the G14, so that's just something to keep in mind. I would say the microphone quality on both of them is fairly mediocre, although I've had better luck with the Slim 7 as well. Just in terms of the overall look and feel of the laptop, I mean, you've got, so with this guy, you've got just a white backlit keyboard, and I would definitely recommend getting the black model or carbon black model of the G14, because the white text on the keys with the white backlighting is just, it's not great. And if you're not looking at it, you know, straight on, top down sort of thing, and depending on the lighting in the room, it's, you know, you may as well turn the backlighting off at times. Whereas the per key RGB lighting on the G14 is, you know, it's like something you'd see in a much higher end gaming laptop, not necessarily something that's sort of budget oriented like this. Uses Corsair's IQ software, and so far, you know, no issues, works pretty well. You could, you know, change some of the lighting effects using the function keys here, so you don't necessarily have to go through the software if you don't want to. But let's see, other than that, so this the Lenovo Legion Slim 7 has a 5800H, and the Zephyrus G14 has a 5900HS processor. I will say those are, you know, pretty similar. Obviously, you're looking at better power consumption on the HS, but from a gaming performance standpoint, they're pretty similar. You do have a higher wattage 3060 GPU on the Lenovo Legion, and I have gotten a few extra frames in addition to the whole mug switch thing. So anyway, this is just kind of an overview of the two, but highly recommend them both. I do think I'll be keeping the Lenovo Legion Slim 7. If you've got any more questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments. Thanks.